Hey guys, so this is the second video of the day that you earned because I got 20 likes, which meant you shared my page. Thank you so much for that. So, what we are making on this video is these little swags. Hang them on your door like a wreath. This is a little one, which I'm going to make again. They fit the door a little bit better. I made my mom a nice large one with a nice large bow. So I've got a bow that I made. If you watch the first video that I posted today, it's going to be the same thing. And I'm going to put this on my swag today. This bow I got from the dollar store. And if you look, it already had a little pipe cleaner on it. There you go. You can see that little gold part? That's the pipe cleaner. Really nice to have. Makes it really easy. So this video is a little bit more advanced, but I will try to break it down really easy for you, and hopefully it won't be too long. Looking at maybe 20 minutes. Hopefully, fingers crossed there. So let's see. Maybe I can make it under, but I want to make sure that I make it thorough so that everybody can understand. So what you're going to need for this video is your branches from your tree. Usually you will cut down, when you get your tree, you don't usually buy that perfect height tree that has just enough clearance for all your presents, so you have to cut pieces off. These are the pieces from our tree, because we ended up getting a little bit over 8 feet and had to cut a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom, made it perfect, but this is what I got, which actually made me really happy. So I dried them out for a couple days, and then I've got a whole plethora here of them. Make sure that you have enough. So you've got your branches, you got some floral wire. I've got a really, really thin wire here, but on this project it would probably be better to have thicker. I just don't have it right now. And then you need some clippers for like hedges. These aren't even mine because I just moved into a house. I borrowed them from my in-laws. And then your centerpiece, because you don't want to just, well, you might, but we didn't want to just have the middle poking out because it shows all the workings that you do. And then you can use a pair of scissors for the wire. So that's the basics of what you need. So to start out with, you're going to take your wire and you're going to cut it into several pieces. Your little clippers can do that, or your scissors can do that. Now I cut mine into several different sizes here. So I've got some already cut. I need a couple more of the small pieces here. Alright, so I'll show you here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just dropped 8. So you can see that they are all different sizes there, which is great. That's actually perfect. So that's what you do first. You got your wire cut. You got your stuff handy. You don't really need your scissors at this point, so you can set them aside so you have more working room. Let me tilt this down so you can kind of see what's going on here. Can't see me. Oh, darn. You know, that's exactly what you want to see. No, just kidding. Okay, so we've got here our branch. Now, I kind of cut it down to the size that I want. That is about twice the size that I want, which is perfect because you need to have it for both sides. So you need to have both sides of it about the same length. So I'm cutting a few pieces here. You want really branchy, needly pieces. I know I just made up all those words, but see, these ones have a lot of branches or needles on them. This is mostly branch. However, that can come in handy at times, like the very, very beginning. So I'm going to trim off these little pieces here, set them aside. Great for burning in the fireplace. Smell great. And then I'm going to cut this one off here, and that's going to be perfect there. So you see, this is why it's nice to have the really bare branches, because it's a great base for your first piece here. So this is going to be my first piece. I'll need to cut more branches over here in a minute, but this is what I'm going to start with. So you've got your first few pieces. I'm going to take one of my longer wires here, put the branches together so you have a good base. This is going to be where you're going to pull all the other pieces from. That's how wide I want about my wreath, or my swag, I'm sorry, to be. So I start here. Hopefully you can see that. Start over toward the end. And I do it small. I wrap that piece around there. Wrap it tight at this point. You have to wrap it tight or it's all going to fall apart in the end. So I'm just wrapping it around here. All the way around. You can see that there. Hopefully the video is catching it well. It's hard to see for me. So there's that. And then I'm going to take another one on the other side so that I can get these pieces together here. See that? There's two pieces. I want to make sure that they're close together here, not just in the middle there at the end. Well, middle, end, whatever. Obviously can't talk. Pull pieces that are in the way out of the way. Again, making sure to wrap it tight. So there we go. There's piece there, and then there's piece there. You can see how it's wrapped. The middle isn't wrapped, but that's okay. That's going to end up being really thick anyways, so we don't really want to wrap that too much. So then I've got my next piece here, and you know, this is one of the videos, so you can really take creative ideas out. So I've got, you can see that this is going to be the front. This is the green side. This is the top of what would be the branch would be like this. That's why it's growing up toward the light. And this is the same way, growing up toward the light. However, you could do it so that it faces down so you have a variety. You can kind of see there is a variety in the color. You have the rich green and the kind of lighter green. For me, I'm going to do all the rich greens on this one. So here's this. You're going to want to anchor everything to this center point. So you don't want to cut it really close here. Like if you cut it close, you're not going to have enough anchorage. So you want to trim here. See, I don't want that piece to just randomly be out there. But this is another piece I can use later. So I'm not going to toss it in the going away pile. I'm going to toss it in a separate pile of possible use. So trim these pieces off here. Makes it a little bit easier in the long run. And then you make it so that it's the length you want on this side. I don't want it way out here. I want it nice and thick in here. So I'm going to trim that enough that it's just past the wire we had originally there. Okay, maybe I'll trim it. There we go. And then you grab another wire. This is why you cut several pieces of wire. You use a lot of wire on these. So then you wrap all three pieces now together. These ones at this point you don't have to wrap a lot down the ways like we did in the beginning. We wrapped here and we wrapped here. These ones you're just going to kind of wrap in one spot because we're going to end up wrapping other things eventually, and it's going to anchor those in really well. So there's that piece, and now I'm going to kind of clean up these little pieces, put them in the going away pile, and I think I'm going to use the piece that I cut off. And what you're trying to get is a nice full section here in the sides. Now on this one in particular, I have this bow. So you want to keep that conscious. That's what I need in the center, is that size spacing. On this one that I did earlier, I didn't need much spacing. So if you look on the back, it's all the way to the center of that so that it doesn't push it away. Like here, it's not covering it, but it's also just enough space. So now we're going to do this piece. You want to do one side, then the other side, then one side, then the other side. You don't want to build up a whole bunch on one side and then a whole bunch on the other side. So I'm going to get that about where I want it. See, you can barely even tell that's a separate branch. Okay, there you could, because it fell when I looked at it on the video. But kind of want it to open up. You want to fan out on both sides and kind of make it even. So on this one, I'm going to do it right there. Grab yet another wire and wrap it up here. And this is your, like, I'm on mine, I'm catching the end of that last piece over here that I put and wrapping it too. That is why you don't need to wrap it a whole bunch on the first one. So here's what we got so far. And really, if you wanted to, you could finish it like that and put another bow here and be done if you want a nice thin one, which some people like. I like the full ones, however. So I'm going to trim this one to the point where I want it. See, it's just a nice little one. And I'm going to put it like this, because this piece here is covering some of those branches, which I want to trim these huge pieces that are just sticking out. There's no use for them to be sticking out. They're going to make things harder in the long run. But I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to lay it over so that there's some coverage there. You can see there's some coverage right here where it's covering where the branches are there that are being put together. Now keep conscious where your center point is. If you have to put something there so that you remember, that's totally fine. I have some thick wire right here. You can see there's a really thick portion right here. Oh, now you can see it. There's the thick portion that is my center that I'm going to be working from. So I want to fill out everywhere from there. So then you take another piece of wire. Now, if you can, try to work it through some pieces. What I mean by that is I have these branches here. So if you look, I'm going to put it through the middle here versus all the way around. See, it's there in the middle, not all the way around it. The reasoning for that is it's going to give it some more dimension outward versus being just wrapped around inward. You can wrap all the way around the back side of it, but you want to start it in the middle ever so often when you can, just because it's going to give it that dimension. You don't want a flat swag, which sounds really funny now that swag is, you know, a thing that is not holiday, but or maybe that's just me. So you can see that I've got, this is going to be my front. The reasoning it's going to be my front is it's curving this way. That last piece I put on the back. So you can see, maybe you can see, here is the nice dark top piece and the bottom piece, which is dark on the back. So there we go. Nice and pretty so far, but as you can see, this side is much more thick than this side. And it's not piece for piece all the time. It is sometimes just fullness, and that's what you're looking for. So I've got this piece here, and it's going to go right, let's see, I'm going to put it right there. So I'm going to sneak in through the middle, maybe. Nope, I can't. Okay, so I am going to wrap it up here. And I think, and take a double check here, but I think this might be the last piece that I want to do on mine. And the way that you want to check that is going to be to, sorry, sometimes I can't quite talk and do something at the same time. I can multitask most of the time, but not always. So here we go. I've got it here in the center. Here is the thickness on this side. The thickness on this side, I turn it toward myself, kind of look, take my centerpiece here, put it there, and I kind of think, let's see here, think I need a little piece up here. And so I'm going to search for a piece, maybe in my scraps here, which is exactly what I found that I need. So I just cut a piece off that looked like it was going to fit where I wanted it. And sorry, I have to swipe because my screen time's out, so I can't quite see what I'm doing on the video. Might want to see that. So this piece is not going to quite fit upwards the way I want it here. So I'm going to turn it backwards and get some of that extra color. See, it doesn't really add that much. You might not think it does anyways, but really it adds enough. Well, and you know what? It adds enough for me to be happy, and really that's all that matters, at least for what you're going to do. Unless you're making it for someone else and you know that they want it nice and thick or big, you know, you got to do what you think is right on some of these. You have to take your own creativity and do these things. I know some people have a hard time with that. I'm actually, part of the reason I started doing these videos was for a friend of mine that doesn't think she can craft. So I wanted to make sure that everybody felt, if they wanted to craft, that they could have things broken down and do it on their own. Okay, so mine is exactly the fullness that I want it. So I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to cut a nice long piece off. It's about 1 foot long. And then I'm going to take it, and what you want to do at the beginning of this, you're going to start at the end. First you want to trim off all these little pieces. I don't know if you can see that very well. These little pieces, I'm going to trim those off so we don't have all this extra. Now I'm getting sap all over my hands because I have a very sappy tree. As a matter of fact, that's what my son named it, was Sappy. So I have all these pieces trimmed back here because you don't want it really, really thick or it will hang weird on your door or wherever you're going to put it. Okay, so I've got this piece here along the front. Now I want it to come back to where all these little branches come together so that I can wrap those in. Now you want to wrap it tight across here. Then you want to twist a couple of times so that you have an anchor. Then you're going to do it really tight here. Really tight. As tight as you can go without breaking your wire. All the way down the length of your swag. Not the whole swag, obviously. The length, sorry, may not be obvious. The length of the center of your swag. And then go back toward the beginning where you have your twist. And then you're going to twist the beginning again here. Twist it, twist it, twist it, and wrap. And that is how it looks. It looks really weird and really bad. And that's when you put your centerpiece on. It covers all of that. Woohoo! Magic. So then, to make the hanger, you're going to take another long piece, not as long, about 1/2 foot, so about 6 inches. And you're going to take 2 fingers and you wrap it. Wrap, wrap, wrap. So you have, take it off of your fingers and you have an oval. Just like that. Then you take another piece about the same length, a little bit longer. I guess it's about double the length. So again, back to 1 foot. Now you take it and you go here. And then you wrap around it. I want you to wrap around it because this is going to make it strong. This is the piece that's going to hold this to your door. You want that to be really strong so that it doesn't break or fall off. We have a lot of wind coming in our area that we hang it. So I'm going to just keep wrapping it around. You can see what, hopefully, yeah, you can see there what I'm doing so that it wraps around and it almost looks like it's braided on there. Just keep doing that. And you go all the way around. And again, I want you to know, if you have any difficulties throughout these videos, feel free to email the Facebook page. Or my email is armyhasmyheart@yahoo.com. And feel free to, and that page, that email is also on my web pages. I have a YouTube page, I have a Google Plus page, and I have a Facebook page. I haven't quite figured out how to link them all together yet, so you'll have to be patient with me. I'm not very tech savvy. Crafty, but not techy. So I'm still wrapping it. Takes a little bit to get it all wrapped around. You want it to be strong though, because I promise you, you really don't want it falling off and ruining it. You've spent all this time on it, so, and look at that. I said in the beginning 20 minutes. We're now at 20 minutes and 22 seconds. Sorry guys, it is a little bit long. This is probably one of the longer crafts that I'll show on here, just because I don't want you to get bored and not want to finish watching the video to do it. I've done that to videos that I've seen myself. Okay, so you've got your oval all the way wrapped around, and you have the ending here. So oval, ending. Take that, get it toward the bottom of your oval, and make sure that you wrap to get it there. Don't just pull it down there or you will lose the strength again. Yes, I know I'm saying strength a lot, but believe me, you want it to be strong. So then we have that all wrapped around. You got your oval there. Again, oval, extra wire, oval, extra wire. Okay, sorry, being a little bit weird. But that's me. So you take that oval and your extra wire, wrap around. Make sure you're doing it along the back here. So you got it on the back of your thing. Got your curves coming this way. If you have your curves coming this way, it's going to hold off of your door. So you won't be able to hang it well. It'll probably keep falling off. Again, you don't want it falling off. Have you caught the theme here? So I'm just wrapping it around. Wrapping that oval on there nice and strong. As you can see, it is there on there. And you want to test it by kind of pulling. If it pulls your wire at all, take off some more wire, cut it, and wrap it some more. And then you take your centerpiece. We're almost done. We're on the home stretch. Yay! Okay, so you take your bow or your whichever you have. My bow that I did on this one here had the wire already on it. That was wonderful. This one, obviously, I haven't gotten the wire on my bow yet. You can see there's no wire to hang it from. So I'm going to go around the front of my bow without trying not to mess it up too bad. Though luckily, if you watched the other video, you can see that it's wired ribbon, so it holds its shape and you can move it around. So on mine, I put it on around where it was before. Twist, twist, twist. Then I take it and see if I can get this where you can see it. Alright. I put it through my loop here. Again, strengthening my loop. And around the outside. Do the twists like you're twisting a twist tie on a bread bag. Twist it, twist it. And then you have a couple of choices. You can twist that around your oval there, your hanger, and keep twisting it around there. So you strengthen, yes, again, strengthen your hook there. Or you can wrap it around the back. I did just now a wrap around the hook, or the oval, and a wrap around the back. There's many ways that you can hang it. This is the way I've found works for me when I'm just sitting here with all of these materials already here. So then you fluff your ribbon, or you make sure everything's centered, and you can add pieces right now. If you look at it and you go, there needs to be something here, wrap it around there. You can totally do that with the centerpiece on. So there we go. Straighten it up here. And there you have your swag. Yay, swag, swag, swag. Okay, so 24 minutes. I went over 4.5 minutes. Sorry, guys. Have a great day. Happy holidays if you don't watch any of my next videos. Have a great one. Bye, guys.